always be thinking, what's the next step? What's the next level? What can I use this money for? What can I get to? What can I do? Those are things that you need to consistently think in your head. Okay, the next step is X. The next step is X. And it may not, in fact, most of the time, it will not look exactly like that. But you'll get pretty damn close as you scale. This is the truth about scaling a medical clinic. There are a few ways to do it, really. You can do it the fast way or you could do it the slow way. Genesis, I chose to do it the fast way. So I'm going to tell you kind of how we did it. That doesn't mean you have to do it this way. But really, when it comes to building a company in general, you need to realize that you have to have urgency every single day. When you wake up and your feet hit the ground, boom, you are running, because either you're going to be predator or prey in your business. Every business is like that. So how do you prioritize and allocate resources when you're scaling your business is extremely important. And the way we did it was that we made sure everything went back into the business. Starting at the beginning, when I worked for the prison system and 2 urgent cares, I was saving every single dollar we could in order to build the business. When I went to actually start the business, we moved from Palm Springs, California to Las Vegas because the lifestyle was less expensive and the state was a much more business-friendly state. So that's why we ended up moving to Las Vegas. It was close to us, only 3 hours away. And when we moved there, we got a tiny little townhome. But before that, we had moved out of our Palm Springs home, rented the Palm Springs home, moved into the foyer, which is the front room of a 5-bedroom house that was rented out, each of the 5 bedrooms to separate people who were all on drugs. So we lived in a crack house for 1.5 years, saved our money from the rental, saved our money from me working 3 jobs. Steph worked as well. We pulled that money together. We moved out to Las Vegas. We ended up selling our house in California, which I wish I kept, but sold our house in California to go all in to build this business. So I sacrificed, and my wife sacrificed a ton in order to start the business at the beginnings, to make sure we did not take on any loans. And now, to this day, Genesis does 0 debt. Everything was in the business, and we focused on very, very low expenses. So we opened in a rented few rooms inside someone else's chiropractic office. We kept our marketing low as much as we possibly could at the beginning. Then we ramped it up and made a huge mistake, which I'm going to tell you about, and wasted money. We had very little furniture until we could afford more. We bought sticky clings, which is, our signage was not the nicest. It was just like essentially stickers that we got made for the walls. Anything we could to save money, we did. When I left my jobs to jump 2 feet first into this business, I went from roughly $500,000 a year with my bonuses and all the extra jobs I was doing to $0, all in on the business. And during those first really 2.5 years, almost 3 years, we only took enough money out of the business in order to pay for our living expenses. So to pay our rent, to pay for food, to pay for gas. I had already paid off our cars, so we just stayed in our cars as long as we possibly could. And I made sure that because I was taking a massive pay cut, there were no extra bills. Like we didn't go out to eat at all. We didn't spend on anything nice. There were times during Christmas where I could not afford to get gifts for my family. And it was awful, such a terrible feeling. And we did that so we could invest everything back into the business over and over and over. We lived that way. And we made sure that, we lived in a way that was below our means. We lived below our means. We spent below our means. And as a result of that, we were able to elevate our dreams. And as a result of that, our business grew because every single time we had an extra dollar, more marketing. Extra dollar, buy the next clinic. Extra dollar, open the next location. Extra dollar, put more money into the services section. Extra dollar, order a new machine for the clinic. We spent and spent and spent back into the clinic to allow it to grow and grow and grow. And we grew 300 to 400% every single year, year after year, until about 2 years ago when we were growing 100% every single year, year after year. And it was just exponential, explosive growth. We're less than 5 years in now. This is 2024. We started in 2019, and we're still growing like crazy. We have 5 locations that just got added this month. So we're growing like crazy. What are some of the things we wasted money on, though? So learn from me with these mistakes and don't make them. Number one, doing services based off of what everyone else is doing. So we did this with laser hair removal. And we thought that, you know what, we are absolutely going to kill it in laser hair removal. Every single location, about 2 years ago, there was 12 locations. They each had a laser hair removal machine in them. And we thought we were killing it because that laser hair removal machine was absolutely filled. It was filled from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. at night. And we were doing lasers back to back to back to back to back, no matter where we were in the United States, Texas, Colorado, Indiana, Salt Lake City. We were everywhere absolutely crushing laser, or so we thought. When we started to run the numbers, we looked into it deeper and found that we were killing it gross profits. However, when we got to the net profits, we were actually losing money on every single machine. And that's because we had issues with the machine taking up a room in our small clinics. So we had less space in order to make money. Those patients weren't upsold because they were already on 6-month, 12-month unlimited laser packages. So they didn't want to buy anything else. We had an MA stuck in there or a laser tech stuck in there doing laser all day long. So we had to hire more staff. There was a lot of things that went into it that reduced the amount of money. And actually, we were losing money. So what do? We got rid of that. We focused our efforts on our pillars: weight loss, hormone therapy, men's and women's sexual health, and a little bit of aesthetics, which is aesthetic machines. And we grew exponentially. Allow us to focus. So your patients might ask you for this and that and this machine and this machine and this service and that. Focus on what you are really good at. Don't be a jack of all trades, master of none. Look, it's great to be a master of a few services. We are the masters of weight loss, hormone therapy, men's and women's health, and a little bit of aesthetics. That's what we're the masters of. That's what all our marketing goes into, our sales training goes into, everything goes into. And as a result of that, we are more focused and we earn more money in those services. The second thing is making sure that you are hiring a marketing company that is absolutely quality. And what do I mean by quality? Means that they have proof in marketing your service, not other service like your service, and not other services in other portfolios, services that you do. They market your service and they crush it at it, and they have proof, and they have other people who they are willing to share with you. When you hire a vendor onto your company, such as a marketing company, it should be the same as interviewing an employee. You want to ask for their references. And if they don't have any references, don't hire them. Run away from them. You want to speak to their references. Hey, how has this company been? What could they do better? What do you not like about them? So you already know, education-wise, before you hire them, what are the things that you need to look for? It's really, really important. We didn't do this at the beginning. And unfortunately, one of our business partners at the beginning was a marketer. He said he can absolutely crush it in the field that we were looking to do, which was stem cells. And guess what? They spent $40,000 in the course of 45 days with 0 conversions and ended up crushing our business. We had to spend money out of our own pockets in order to get the business to grow again. So don't focus on one type of marketing. Make sure you're interviewing your marketers. Other than that, make sure you're spending money on the right things that will help you remove your focus from the things that you do not like to do or really suck at, and onto the things that you're really great at and can focus on making money. For example, I am not good at accounting. So we made sure we hired a high-level accountant, and we've always had an accounting team or firm throughout our exponential growth of our business, different ones for different sizes of our business, always leveling up. don't do your own books. Everybody likes to do their own books. I don't know what it is about that. You are not good at numbers. You did not go to CPA school. You did not have an accounting degree 99% of the time. Okay, the one person watching this, cool, good for you. But other than that, you should not be doing your own books. Somebody else should be doing it that is experienced in that. Second thing is marketing. You can start with your own marketing if you really read a lot of books. You learn about it. If you read the book $100 Million Leads from Alex Hormone, it's a great book on marketing. Those are the ways that you can start to market yourself. However, when you get bigger and bigger and bigger, you're going to have a third-party marketing company or an internal marketing company run your marketing for you. So those are things. Calling on the phone. You should have a second person, an MA, someone who can help call on the phone, book your patients for you, so you can focus on money-making things. So make sure you're spending money on money-making things. The next thing is cash. This is argued on both sides. So I'll just tell you what we did. In every single company that we have a small reserves. And what is a small reserves? A small reserves for us really only covers a month worth of expenses. Now, people might say, well, you need 3 months or 6 months or a year's worth of expenses in the business. We don't, because that 1 month includes marketing, it includes payroll, it includes rent, and it includes drug costs and things like that. So if we stopped providing services, we would turn off our marketing, fire everybody, and we would not be ordering drugs anymore. And all we would have left is our rent and maybe our machine leases. That small amount of reserves will last probably 3 to 6 months for those expenses only. So if shit completely hit the fan, we can cover those expenses for probably 3 or 6 months if we fired everybody and everything like that. Sounds cruel, but hey, this is a business. You need to make sure you have the ability to grow that business and you don't put yourself in a pinch where you cannot afford or do not have reserves in the account and you're taking money out of your own pocket. It devalues your company, makes you look bad as a business owner, and in the end, you're just going to end up losing employees because you can't pay them payroll or you can't do this or that. So scaling is important. How much reserves do we keep in our smaller clinics that just started? It's 30,000. In our bigger clinics, it's 50,000. In our massive clinics that are doing 250 to 300K a month, it's 75,000. So that's different levels. Again, depends on what your expenses are for your business, what you are spending every single month. The easiest way to do this is literally take what I just talked about, the accountant, take that accountant, make sure that they are doing a proper profit and loss sheet, take your expenses and what your expenses add up to, that should be the amount that you have in reserves. So if your payroll, your marketing, your cost of goods, all your leases add up to 50,000, that should be your bottom line reserves in the bank account. So everything above that number that's left over in the account after the end of the month, we pay out in our management fees and our dividends. That's how we do it. It's not super scientific. It's very straightforward though. We can see the number and boom, do it afterwards. Some companies will say, hey, you should have 3 months, 6 months. Again, it just depends on how much money is going out the door. Like I said, if we had to shut the doors, pay for only rent and leases, we would be able to cover it really with that small reserves for at least 3 to 6 months to figure out something. Sometimes you can have too much cash sitting around. And if you want to scale, you need to be aggressive. And this is what we were with Genesis and what I've been with every single business, Accesso, every single business that I've been a part of, we have been highly aggressive. And what that means is that every single dollar that comes in above our reserves at the beginning, we shoved it back into the business to grow it. Now, you might at some point, like we did, start to take a little bit of extra off the top, dividends, things like that. You deserve it. You're a business owner. However, most of the money went back into growing the business. What is the next business that we can buy? What is the next vertical that we can build in our business? What is the next service that we can offer? Can we add more money to marketing dollars? Can we add more money to patient retention and client loyalty programs? Over and over and over, we put money back into the business, back into the clients. And as a result of that, our business has grown and grown and grown and grown. So if you really want to be serious about scaling and you really want to scale fast, and fast is relative, it's taken us 4.5, almost 5 years to grow to 23 locations. And that was just seriously balls to the wall, every single dollar going back into the business over and over and over. Or you can do that over a longer time, 10, 15, 20 years. It's up to you and what you want to do. But I am speaking to the people who want to do it like me and just go full out, full court press. With that, however, don't stretch yourself too thin. If you have one clinic, don't go from one clinic to 4 clinics. Unless you have staff that can work those 4 clinics, standard operating procedures that you can train those 4 clinics, and those 4 clinics live your core values if you're acquiring them, or you can have enough staff to run 4 clinics. Don't do that. One at a time. You go from 1 to 2, 2 to 4. Why? Because the next clinics can be trained by the first clinic. So the first clinic can train the second clinic. Then the first 2 clinics can train the next 2 clinics, and so on and so forth. So that helps you scale faster, thinking about that way. But at the same time, you don't want to scale too fast, because if you scale too fast and you do not have the support, you are going to be very discombobulated and cause issues. We did this. We scaled and had 4 clinics out of the gate, 3 of which I was running with my MA at the time, just the 2 of us. And we were also in different states, Colorado, Arizona, and Las Vegas. So we ended up flying to each location a few days out of the week to do treatments. And it was just an absolute disaster. We couldn't focus. We couldn't grow. Our money was spread out everywhere, and it ended up being an absolute disaster. So do not do that. Do not scale too fast. And if you scale aggressively very close to you. But at the same time, always be thinking, what's the next step? What's the next level? What can I use this money for? What can I get to? What can I do? Those are things that you need to consistently think in your head. Okay, the next step is X. The next step is X. And it may not, in fact, most of the time, it will not look exactly like that. But you'll get pretty damn close as you scale. And you will be able to grow and grow and grow and grow. So that's how we prioritized and allocated resources when we were scaling our business. We continue to do that to this day. And at this point, we've grown so large and we've been in the medical industry for so long that opportunities are starting to come our way that only happen when you are in a service or in a field for years and years and years. And what do I mean by that? Well, now we have a relationship with a pharmacy. We ended up building a pharmacy separately that will be able to supply our drugs for cheaper. We are working on importing Class 1 FDA PRP tubes so that we'll be able to use those and lower our cost of goods. We've created strategic partnerships with our marketing company, with our accounting company, with everybody that we use in our business to help us scale. We've built out a medical CRM, client relations manager called DEFCON 1 Marketing, that anybody could go on and purchase and use in their business. And that's the same thing that we use in our business. So we're giving these things or selling these things to other clinics that helps us increase our marketability, helps us increase our income, while at the same time, we're helping a lot of people in our service. And we wouldn't be able to do this unless we were in this for a long time. So people like to say, well, once you start making money, diversify. I think that's bullshit. You shouldn't take your money and go buy laundromats or drive-through car washes or other businesses that I don't know anything about. I know about medical businesses. You know about medical businesses if you're watching this. If you focus your efforts, your income into pushing it back into your business, you will grow that business and you won't have to worry about diversifying because you'll make more money in the service that's right in front of you, in the field that's right in front of you. So prioritize and allocate the resources back into your business, scale your business, and you will make way more money than you ever thought you could.